Go. Commentary on the masculine. Sunday night, January 21st, 2024 at 10:57 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, the gold is in our stories. And as we move to an unrelenting transparency that is greater than any narrative in any intention of the greatest nature. it's the whole thing. It's happening. So I believe that at a minimum we really help ourselves and each other by telling our stories, where we're at, behind every mask. And if you look at my mask, my face, I feel like that we went through the most intense universal boot camp ever from around 2012 December till probably December 2022, but really popped out this past November. So knowing the direction that the energy is headed, because telepathy is transparency to a great degree, um, is to how do we unify with that? How do we catalyze it? How do we align with it? How do we relate to it? How do we, how better can we um, provide code for each other than by telling our stories, so to speak, and obviously not from victim consciousness. So, I'm going to tell my story um, because not because it's about me, but because I've been out there for a long time and I've tried to be pretty authentic and raw, and just be myself, you know, ass and all, soul and ass. Um, but talking to so many people over the years, over 4,000 episodes, and just collaborating with people, and you know that incredible period, that 10-year period from 2012 to 2022 and thereafter. Um, I don't know. It just gives you I guess it gives you a broad perspective. So my perspective is that it happens to the greatest potential at the human level. So therefore, Soul Speaks 5D, and therefore, I'm going to talk from that place. So in my story, which I believe, and I haven't verified this because I've not done this, I've not actually done this with myself. Um, so what better way to do it than to do it with witnesses, because it's pure, even if it's got shadow or conditioning or whatever, you know human condition. It's the transparency, the willingness to share at that level. That is love, that is trust, and that is faith. And we're doing it in the physical, so the potential's through the roof. So mine would start with and I'll go through some of the history pretty quick just to get to a certain point. um, so I get this awakening like a lot of us had. And that night, it happened at 1:11 on May the 30th, 2011. And this big light came through the trees, and then it turned in the face of Yeshua, and we talked, and then I went to bed, and then the rest started from there. So I had my journey. A lot of people know about it, but it doesn't matter. I went through my own journey, my own dark nights. Got a Sology download out of the ethers through a divine connection and pre-planning from beyond the monad, and I started doing this, and so it was just a part of my life all day long, every day, every single day, every single day. I take off a day or two every now and then, but just constantly working through different groups and different platforms, and everything happened. Morgan came in, lifted the show, Soul Speaks 5D, and really started doing a lot of shows and all that. And it was great to provide that for people. So many connections made, like in the group and even on the shows. So many, healers connected, and it's just a great experience. And so then, and COVID came. Remember, everybody knows that. And I think, in looking back, it's easy for all of us to see that there was a whole huge energy coming in with that. And I'm not talking about the energy of anything intended by COVID or a vaccine. I'm talking about universal God power, universal Mother Goddess power. So in 2021, my beloved I went home to Australia and landed in COVID. And then we've been on a journey. She's been traveling all over Australia. And I've been trying to hold down the fort, reunited with my mom recently and this and that. I'll speed it up. And this transformation is blowing wide open. On the human side of it, have a third Sology Fest in 3 years, driving it, following the Mother Goddess's guidance, which I don't argue with, and coming out of it in December 2023 after the Sology Fest, and being absolutely, totally depleted, like in that time, like a month before, I got that it was over. We'd made it to the other side. But I guess it was like you're sprinting to the finish line, and it's over and you're still running. And I just made it through December. And so basically, I kind of set a date for January the 8th to get started again on the network. And on January the 6th, I had to take my mom to the emergency room. And while we were in the emergency room, my dad had a stroke, and he was in the emergency room. And there was all this wild connective energy happening. My dad had paralysis on the left side of his body. My mom had pain all down the right side of her body, feminine, masculine. There was just a lot of high-powered code coming in, and all this was happening. And so now, about 2 weeks later, I'm still trying to get on my feet. And this isn't the story of a man. This is the story, I think, of what's left. What's left of the man on the other side now that we're on the other side. And it's like having gone to war. And I know the women have been through a lot. We can't relate to that, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of brothers that have been out there in the ethers and the multidimensionals, working their asses off and coming over here and being like everybody else, a dumb human, and trying to put all this together. Some of them conscious to it, some of them not. Doesn't matter. We're waking up to our multidimensionality, and we're going to see this, man. And I'm going to do my best to try this new method and see how it goes, and maybe add some things to it, and just take a slower pace, and just kind of take it easy, and feel into this new energy, which I really like it. It's kind of like a no bullshit energy. Like, you're just so humbled. and honored. You know, it's amazing. So anyway, this is probably the I don't know. This feels almost like the first video I've ever done in my life. But okay. Love you, Morgan Lee, and everybody else.